Good afternoon, everyone. It's Maureen from Massachusetts. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing okay. Everything's good that I know of. Got my tea. There's always time for tea. Yeah, it's from my daughter. We got this up in Vermont, our last shopping spree. It's fun. We have fun. We like to go antiquing. So, oh, that's good. Mango. And I put 2 tea bags in, kind of stronger. Yummy. Got my little bird spoon. I like these little spoons to put in your tea. Nice and warm. So anyway, I'm out here. Got projects. Always got projects. Not entirely sure where I'm going today with you, but we will do something. I have a lot of finishing up to do. I'm actually writing a thank you note right now for customers. Thank you notes. And I did up a little flyer in regard to letting, every time I make an Etsy sale, I like to just inform people about the other things I have going on. It's a good way to spread the word across the country about yourself, and especially if you've got other endeavors going on, and I do. And like I stated earlier, I am a children's book author, and I don't want my whole YouTube experience to be all about that, and that's why I haven't mentioned too much thus far. But you will probably hear me talk a little more about it here and there as the spring and summer approach, only because this will be my kind of book launching time. I sense that I just signed off on a few things, so they're working on a little mini trailer that goes along with the book. Anyway, so I sense that, by early summer, I should have this book in my hands, and I can let y'all know the title and more about it and the company and everything. But for now, I'm just letting people know and actually talking it up a little bit about my last and present book that's on the market, and that's called Kennedy and Her Bink, and that's a little bedtime read for toddlers and parents and grandparents and caregivers to share with the little ones, little toddler age. And they enjoy it because it's a lovely picture book. I'll show you a little bit of the cover if you can see it. Kennedy and Her Bink. Actually, I'll get the book out. So, what it is, I can talk with you about that. Let me get my 3 books thus far so we can have a little chat about that. Okay. This is Kennedy and Her Bink. This is on the market. This one is still with the Ex Libris company, but I no longer work with them. This is now under Westwood Books, and we lowered the price, and they did a couple things of getting the actual review on the cover from Pacific, a little blurb, because I got positive reviews from top reviewers. So this is a good little book. Your little one will love it. It's colorful, and it's a story about Kennedy. Kennedy is my granddaughter, and that's what inspired me to do this little book. And she always enjoyed her Bink pacifier. And I wanted to do a little story. And this is actually a picture we took of her. She would cross her hands like that when she would go to sleep. And she's very content with her Bink. So I did a little poem, and then I just took it from there. And um, my wonderful friend from Costa Rica, Maricela, who's an artist, did the beautiful, colorful illustrations, and we got good reviews on that as well. And it's done in English and Spanish, so that's another good thing. And it's short. There's not a lot of words, a lot of reading. It's more of a picture book with, like, the poem is scattered throughout the pages. I can read it to you quickly. Please don't take my Bink. It helps me to think. It's the one thing I have that I can truly call my own. And then, of course, it's in Spanish. I can't read that, but maybe some of you can. Look at these beautiful illustrations. It's gorgeous. And your little one would love it. Yep. I love how Bink feels against my small tongue. My name is Kennedy, and I've had it since day one. And then Maricela did beautiful illustrations. And in the review, the reviewers talk about this colorful page. So it's quite unique. Mommy and Daddy know and understand how much I love my Bink. It helps me to fall asleep and reassures me that all is calm and that everything will be okay. I'm a good little girl and I don't fuss much. I like to know that my Bink is nearby, especially when it's time to close my eyes. Also, when we go for rides. And of course, that's written in Spanish. And then we actually have a photo of her in her radio flyer wagon. And she's got pigtail. And it's just so much like this. This brings back such fond memories, you know. And Maricela, again, did a beautiful job. I am now 18 months old, and some say it is time to take away my Bink. I say for now, let it stay. I have my fun toys and my little red wagon, that is true. But taking Bink away now will only make me sad and blue. Nanny bought me some new shoes. I can walk really well now. I can even run. Oh, Bink and I are having so much fun. And then, of course, the words are in Spanish. I will let you know when the time comes that we can replace Bink with a new toy or maybe a soft blanket. So let me keep my Bink for now. What harm can it do? When that day comes, I may stuff Bink in my shoe and hand it to you. No more Bink between my teeth. Just me and my cuddle toy between the sheets. Bink no more. Now please shut my bedroom door. Nighty night. And that's it. And it's just, you know, and it shows her little dog River and her daughter Haram, and then of course it's done in Spanish, and that's it, the end of the book. And of course that's Maricela. And so anyway, such a nice little book, and right now it's priced perfectly. It's not overpriced. It was, I believe, with the first company, but it's no longer. So it's affordable. It's well worth the money. It would look cute and on a little bookshelf. It's simple, colorful. It's one that they're gonna go to and hand it to you to read time and time again. And of course, you know, what little one doesn't have a pacifier, right? These days I see them everywhere I go. So anyway, think about that. Westwood Books, Amazon. It's on e-reader format too. So I've got it on the SCBWI site and Goodreads and all of that. So all these, you know, top book sites should see this book. And I'm working fast and furious to make sure it's available for everyone. So that would be great if you've got little one. It would make a good gift for a pregnant mother, a baby shower gift. Perfect gift for that. And you know, new parents, anything like that. Somebody who's struggling with the idea of having to give up the little one's Bink, and you know, it's kind of some encouraging words, I think. So anyway, that's that. And that this is my third and most recent on the market. But with that, I do have one in the works. Like I said, that will be out this spring, summer, soon. And I can't wait to tell you and show you, but I don't want to spoil anything. So, and it's a children's book. It'll be good readers age 9 to 12, but it could be enjoyed by all. It's humorous. I tend to write with humor, off the cuff. I kind of like that style. I kind of like to think a little bit of the Irma Bombeck style. I liked her. So anyway, some of that, but that's how I like to write. And and this one is trendy. It's trendy, quirky, and I just can't wait to share it all with you soon, and I will. So with all of that, let's go back a bit to the start of my book writing journey. Okay. Well, I just dropped these books. I could hear them drop under my feet. I'll get them here for you. My book journey. Okay, let's talk about that for a little bit. Okay, well, back in 2014, never knowing that I was ever going to write books or be what they call an author, as much as I always, along with the creative stuff I do, and it all goes together, painting, writing, poetry, sewing, crafting, all those things, gardening, all those things are tied in, really, in a sense. My brother is a professional musician. He went that route. I never learned an instrument. Now I wish I had, but I love the sound of music, all kinds of music, and I love to dance and be out with people dancing, and I always enjoyed that. But I never learned an instrument other than I could I could grab a harmonica and play Frere Jacques for you. That's about it. But anyway, so back in 2014, story goes that my dad had passed away in 2013, and he lived in Northampton with his wife of many years, senior housing. And he died before her. So once he died, she was left alone, and she had kind of a sad story going on too with her kids, and there wasn't a strong connection there, and she had lost sight of a lot of them. So anyway, she was alone, and really no family close to help her. So I felt compelled to take care of her and bring her home here with us. She was in her 80s, and that's what we did. So we were caregivers to her for about a year and a half here, and then we had to put her in a nursing home because she had dementia and other things going on. But anyway, in the year and a half, it was so hard and difficult that took up a lot of my time, our day. So as an escape, I would sit late at night and write. And I wrote this little poem about jewelry, bling fairies. And I submitted it to a contest, my first time ever, Eber and Wine contest for poetry contest. And it did well. I didn't win, but I mean, it did well. It got some notoriety, whereas it's printed in one of their books. And I did buy the CD, and it's on there where somebody is narrating it. It's quite nice. So I felt good about that, and my family was proud of me. And in all of that, they somewhat encouraged me to take it farther. You should write a book off of that. So that's what I did. And again, you got to start somewhere. And that's pretty much what I did, because I look back at it now and I see so many things that I could have done better, and things that I was offended when a book reviewer said that my syntax was poor. But they were probably right, because when I look back, I didn't even know what the word syntax was. I kind of now know. It's how your words are put together and that. But anyway, so with all of that, this book came out via Ex Libris, The Bling Fairies of Junket Falls. And even back then, September of 2014, I was invited to go to a pitch festival and pitch this little story to the Hollywood film industry. And I did pay for a book-to-screen review, and the review did pretty well too. They said they could see it a lot similar to that of Toy Story or the Lego movie in that regard, if they changed up a couple of things. But anyway, it's a cute little story about fairies that live in the land of Junket Falls. And I take all the characters from that of my knowledge of Bakelite jewelry and the different names for some of the bangle bracelets, like butterscotch and apple juice. So I use some of those names of the characters to bring about this story in the book, and it goes on, and there's enemies. The fairies, the bad fairies, are called nuds, and they're made up of all the loose little tidbits of things we find ourselves throwing into our jewelry box. You know, old coins, safety pins, paper clips, you know, an old key, and I did them up. That's called a nud. Now, the story, the whole idea came about because I don't know about you. But for me, I have a lot of jewelry. I love jewelry. I always have. I love anything bright and shiny. I'm kind of drawn to it. Okay, so I would get so frustrated over the years when I would go to my jewelry box to get a piece of jewelry, say a pin or something, and it would be all tangled up with all the other stuff, chains and that weren't even near that piece. So it's like, what is this? So I would always chuckle to myself and say, oh, those bling fairies are at it again. You know, thinking, you know, how else did that happen? You know, especially when I knew I had it all organized and nice like 2 months ago. So that's how I took the little idea, and I can read you the little poem, so you can kind of get a little idea. And it's colorful, and I did the illustrations on this one. These are my illustrations, so anyway, I had to save money, I guess, in that regard. But the book didn't, I've had some sales, but, and it was more the creative content. I've gotten more better reviews in regard to the creative idea, the creative content, not so much the way I wrote the story. But again, you got to start somewhere, and I had never written a book before, so, you know. Anyway, here's Bling Fairies, the poem. Dance about, you silly things. I know you were there amongst all my bling rings and things. Could it be you were there sitting pretty within the barrettes for my hair? Last month I gave you a dare, and I rearranged the gems that were there. Nice and neat hung my chains, bracelets, and pins, holding tight to the memories within. I know you dance there. I know you spin, because a month later, my gems were in a big tangled mess again. How many of you live there in my cherry wood drawers lined with perfect velvet? Young and old, some prefer silver to gold. Oh, the history and stories those gems hold. Cameos, trafaris, ceramic covered fossil, vintage bakelite, squash blossoms coordinate nicely with the clothes in my closet. Oh, what a sight it would be if we took all the jewelry in the world we see and piled it high as a tree. Better yet, a whole country. Mother's sapphire ring or great-grandmother's hammered silver pin. My daughter's first jewelry gift to me. So many nice pieces, so dear to my heart, and not worn nearly enough for the eyes to see. Metals, gems, and diamonds galore, tossed loosely in our jewelry drawers, and rarely do we take the time to adore. Merely left behind for remaining members of the family tree. And last but not least, the bling fairies. And that's what started it all. And I put a little drama in there, and there's a break in, and the fairies have to. One of the things they do is they have to spin at night, which means to go out into the town of Junket Falls and fly high amongst the trees and pick up any loose jewelry they see and bring it all back home and weave it and spin it into something beautiful. And they do this for the Bling Ding event, the big fair at the end of the. It comes about every couple of years in Junket, like a big fair, and where they have all the different things going on and events. So I twist and turn this story around that, and there's a hero. It's the flaming dragon. He ends up being the hero. At first, he's frightening, and one of the fairies gets frightened by him at first, Velvy, but then in the end, they're best friends, and he's her hero, and yeah, and that's Pearl, and this is Jem, the neighbor boy next door who has a crush on Velvy. So anyway, that's kind of my story. This is her sister, Cersei, and I purposely made her a little bit chubbier and bigger and different because we're not all perfect. Life isn't perfect. And we need to, it goes along with learning to accept one another and to help one another. So there's a lot of good things that come about through how I spin my words. So, I mean, yeah, it is still a good little book, but like I said, it's just not written with the best, probably, words, syntax. But anyway, it's my first attempt. But then the second book, and that came out in 2014. Now, the second book is a take off of Bling Fairies, and it's also still in that series because I brought in more fairies. And again, I did all these illustrations, which I was told probably could be a little bit better. But I've seen books where they're not all wonderful and they sold. So it's just to tell a story, and you'll see that they're wearing prison uniforms because they're prisoners. They're a couple, and that's part of the story, but you have to read the book to find out why that is. And this is a cute little story about a girl who finds her parents. She's lived with her grandmother. She's a fairy. They're all fairies in Junket Falls, and she learns of her parents, and they come together and they have a big festival at the Bling Ding event in the roundhouse at the fair at the end of the book. And here's the roundhouse. And that's her grandmother. She lives with grandmother Brassy. So anyway, these are all, like I said, my illustrations and Avon. And I think this is a cute little story. And I call it Discovering Lock and Trinket because Lock and Trinket and a Roundhouse of Bees, because it is based on the idea of the townspeople coming together and building a new roundhouse for Junket Falls. So all the bee enthusiasts and different people can work their magic to save the bees and the pollinators, and so there's a whole bit about that in here. So the story twists and turns around those things, those ideas. So again, you gotta get the book and read the book to know what that's about. Now, these were available via Ex Libris, but right now they're going to be via Westwood, but I do have to sign off on a couple things because we made a few little changes to all these books and lowered the prices. And so these are on Westwood. But if you're interested, send me an email, skybookstuff88@gmail.com, and that's all lowercase, skybookstuff88@gmail.com, and I will get a copy for you, and you know, we'll do it that way. So anyway, in my my fourth book that's soon to be out is with Rushmore Press Literary Company. So, trying some different experiences with different companies. But anyway, that's my book journey, and I did. The 3 books and 4, and I wasn't going to do a 4th like I talked about, but just kind of by happenstance or whatever you want to call it, that I had one more manuscript that I did, because they say if you want to get picked up by traditional publishers, which would be wonderful, and I believe I deserve that, and I believe that my work is worthy, so it's just a matter of time of finding the right person to notice me and my work, and I'm working on it. So with all of that, that's I do like to write on top of other. I like to do a lot of poems and short stories, and like I said, you can also find a lot of my work on the site Fan Story, and that's a fun site if you like to write too. I found, and they critique it, and they have a whole process of earning points and getting, buying points to get your work pumped up and out there, and it's fun. It's a good platform to learn from too, and I haven't been on it for a while because I've been so busy with other things, but there's quite a bit there of my work that you can read, and most of it's fun stuff, fun, humorous poems. I like to write with humor mostly, so yeah. Oh, this tastes so good right now. I had made some nice chicken soup the other day, and one pot will go us a couple of meals. It was really good homemade chicken soup. And we had that with chicken and rice soup with carrots and onions in it, celery. And then, excuse me, I don't know where that came from. And then we had wheat bread, and I grilled up a ham and provolone cheese sandwich, hot grilled. It was delicious. And just a half a sandwich and some soup was a good meal for us, If you make more than that, you end up wasting. And we just don't eat that all that much. I have a nice blank card because I like to send my customers thank you cards. I think it's very important to acknowledge each and every sale you get from your customers, I so appreciate them. And this person's name is Chris. Okay. Yeah. Just a little note to say a big thank you for your purchase. Your business is important to me. I just realized this is an actual lead pencil. I like to write with pens, but this is looking okay. Yeah. So, we will paint. I think I'll finish up a little bit of painting. My buckets came out really pretty. at the end of this clip, if I have time, I'll take you and show you. They're real pretty. And they're going to look nice outside when this is all done and it warms up. And I went out yesterday and I checked my this headband. Sometimes these headbands dig into your temples. A headband. Checked my jugs and winter sowing jugs, and I didn't see any sprouts yet, but this is New England and it takes longer. It's cold, so I don't really want them to sprout just yet. Maybe in a week or two I'd love to see some, maybe, and that's good. And then, then I'll have to make sure I cover them, the ones that have sprouted. But I did put several more out yesterday I got it written down, hollyhocks and chocolate lace and I think some more spinach, cucumbers. I think I did some more I got it all in my folder. I'm taking a course too with a couple of girls online. Yeah. Big beef tomato, hollyhocks, chocolate lace, alyssum, sunflowers, bib lettuce, spinach, cucumber. Yeah. We'll see if it all comes up. I'll have a regular farm here for sure. Whether I want it or not. Okay. Just finish up this little. That's it. Please take a moment to leave. So, needless to say, I do know how to keep busy. Lots going on, I guess. I just don't like a day to pass without feeling like I've done something, I'm not one to sit around. I never have been, I guess. I mean, I know when I need to rest and stuff, but yeah, I feel a little tired now, but I think that's just, I'm relaxed, There we go. And I have a little stamp thing that I do too. Okay. I put my little sky book. Okay. Stuff. STUFF 88 at gmail.com. Okay.